Hello, 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 and welcome back to... Oh wait, it's changed. It's not Rossgo Gaming anymore, it's just Rossgo. That is what we've gone with. I was planning on doing this channel update for the 1 year anniversary. But I just feel like the channel needs a refresh. And let's be fair, if I can't play around with the channel in my first year of being a channel, when can I? Simple as that. I am going to change how things are done, so with the playlists and that, you're going to notice a few changes, especially going forward. There are people who like to watch time lapses, there are people who like to watch let's plays. I have a habit of just mixing it all in together in one series. So going forward in the future, we will have a let's play, a let's play playlist and a time lapse playlist. Now, if you want to watch both of them, by all means carry on. If you're already interested in the time lapse, you can get to those easy, and if you want to watch just the let's play, you can get to those easy as well. So I'm just trying to work to improve in the channel, as it were. Now, today we've had the DLC drop, the new Arctic DLC, which is beautiful. You can see me building with some of the items here, and they are just beautiful. And the animals we've got are a bear, we've got the polar bear, we've got the Arctic wolf, we've got a goat of some description, and is that it? I think there's one more. It is a good DLC. The reason I'm doing this today, one, I want to be festive because it's Christmas, so as you can see we are going for a festive sort of feel to this build, even more so in a bit when I get a bit distracted. Two, I'm having an issue with my franchise pack. Basically, every time I try and buy an animal from the market, it says your storage is full, even though I've only got 4 animals in my storage. So I thought, do you know what? I'll test this out on different things. So I started another franchise where I had no animals in the zoo whatsoever, and it still tells me my storage is full. And then I tried in Sandbox and it let me buy the animal perfectly fine. So there seems to be an issue with franchise. I haven't heard of anyone else having this issue, so I'm presuming it might just be me and I have no idea why. Unless I can figure it out, my only other option is to delete our franchise and start again, which will be annoying after all the hours I've poured into it, and I really, 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 really like the gorilla habitat that we've just done. So I don't really want to lose that. So yeah, watch this space for the franchise. But for the next couple of days, we are going to have some Christmas themed videos where we build different Christmas themed things to fit the new animals in. So for example, the one I'm building here is very much designed for the reindeers. So I'm planning on having the reindeer in it. I want to get like a Santa's grotto sort of feel. Workshop. Santa's workshop is what I'm going with, but the pieces are very normal. So I can't. It's a normal Santa's workshop rather than an overtop one with all these bright colours and things like that. I want it to feel like it's an actual building that's there in the North Pole and the reindeer right at the front. And I may get a bit distracted in a minute by building something else, as you'll see. But yes, the pieces are beautiful. They're not as Christmassy as I was expecting. Like, you've got all the... I know it's not a Christmas pack, but like a lot of these reefs and that, we could have had 2 variations. They could have basically gave us this variation to go with the Arctic pack, but as a bonus, they could have done a few festive, brightly coloured ones. I'm just saying. We do get some Christmas presents and things like that in it, which you'll see me place quite a lot in a bit. Another issue I'm having with this game is recolorable items. Like, as you can see, I'm putting these windows down now. Those windows are not recolorable. This window is, so we end up using this, but there's not many windows that are recolorable. They are based, you can change the colour of the light that shines through the window, but you can't change the colour of the window itself. And coming over from Planet Coaster, I find that really bizarre, because in Planet Coaster you can pretty much change the colour of almost everything. And then we come into this game, and there's a lot of it we can't actually customise in any way. I really love these. I think this is a log actually. They have given us garlands and things in this pack, but I really like the log. I think the log is lovely. We go for some really random window toppers here. It works, in my head it works anyway. Some of these items are beautiful, but they're a bit large for what I wanted them for, so I was really struggling. And then I find this lovely little window. The windows in this pack are quite unusual, because as you see, I've just placed that window with the 2 people on it. That is actually a window out of the pack. And almost, what, all 3 windows? I think there's 3 windows in the pack. They're all that size. They're really small. I don't know if that's I suppose that's intentional to keep the snow out of the building. But it's just random sized windows. So as you can see, I'm using the windows more as a decoration than anything. Now, we don't get this build finished in this episode because I've still got quite a long way to go, and I got distracted, as you'll see in a minute, but I think it was worth being distracted. It turned out really nicely. There's still some more bits and pieces to do on what you see in this video, and then we will finish off the build. We'll get the reindeers in, and then we will move on to the next item. There's a few complaints at the moment about the size of the habitat for the polar bear. I have had a look at it. It's quite a massive habitat the polar bear requires. And I understand one of the reasons I saw that it was for... if you were... I can't speak today. I do apologise. I've been up since... 3:45 this morning because I had a delivery day. It's Tuesday, yay! Conservation is the reason, and I'm like, I understand that and I get that, and Frontier are looking at caring for those animals and doing the best thing for those animals, and that's really nice. But ultimately, we are still a zoo. I haven't been to any zoos in the UK where the polar bears have massive sprawling enclosures. Half the time they're just in a normal enclosure with like a concrete swimming pool and things like that. Not that we get a lot of polar bears over here, but the ones we do, I find it random that we must give them like snow and stuff, because they cope perfectly fine in Britain without snow when they're in our zoos. So do they really need it? Should it be an option where I can put snow or I don't put snow? One or the other. It's my choice. As long as the temperature's low enough. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe if I keep the temperature low enough, I don't have to... Snow just appears though, doesn't it? Maybe I'm putting the filters, the temperature gauge is too low. That might be a thing. I'm going to have a look at that. That's something I'll look at and report back to you. Now, I'm trying to keep in mind with this build, the best way to build is with different levels. Most buildings have some sort of level build up. They don't just go bam, here's a wall and a roof. You have different levels to a house, and I say that, I'm from Britain, we have lots of terraced housing and they are just walls and roofs on top. But to get a really nice feel for a building, like a bigger building in a park or a zoo, you tend to go for levels. It just sort of makes it pleasing on the eye, and it's just not one big flat wall. So that's what we're trying to keep in mind here. I do a little wing off the side of this building. I have repeated the design all the way along, and that's how I wanted it. I want it to be an add-on to the original building, and they've decorated it the same on every window. It wasn't me being lazy. Like so far this build's taken about 3 hours to do. So in total, I'd imagine we'll have one more video to finish this build off, so it's about 6 hours to do a build like this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like massive detail. Like, there are some YouTubers out there who put their own roof tiles on. Every single roof tile is theirs, and they've put it on, and I'm like, that's brilliant. But the majority of people's computers just couldn't handle that amount of parts. But I will give Frontier their due. Planet Zoo seems to handle large amounts of pieces a lot easier than Planet Coaster ever did. Planet Coaster, you got to a certain point and they just struggled. Planet Zoo doesn't seem to have that issue, so that's looking good for Planet Coaster 2. Now, I'm trying to figure out what I could put in these circles, and I think I give up in the end. But, or do I made, there we go, the balls. Those light up balls I think are fantastic. I haven't actually seen them at night lit up yet, but they really give it that sort of Christmassy feel. I've gone for a very red and green design throughout. Very festive colours. Again, I would have liked the garlands and that to be a bit more festive. We do go around later on in the episode and put some of those red balls in the garlands, so they light up at night and they look like cherries and they're Christmassy. That's what we're going for. This piece I'm putting in now with the orange on it, I love it. I think it's so beautiful. You can't deny every piece they put into this game is beautifully done. I would like to be able to change the colour of the wall pieces just to give it a bit of variation, because it is very one colour wall. Like maybe make the porch just slightly different colour brown so it stands out a little bit more, things like that. But we don't have that option, so I'm going to have to go with what we've got, I'm afraid. I do put some of these more red balls on the pillars and that. I haven't got distracted yet from my build, but I think it's around about now I'm going to get distracted. And you're going to see why. We are building Santa's workshop, so obviously there's another well-known item that Santa needs. Here we go. It may start off looking like a boat, but I'm hoping by the end of it, it will look like it's supposed to. There's me thinking this is going to work. It's really not going to work. We remove that part later on. I'm really enjoying Planet Zoo at the moment, and I am very much looking forward to doing a Let's Play series and a time-lapse series. So with the Let's Play, I can just concentrate on playing. I can concentrate on the animals. I can concentrate on things like that. And then the big projects and that will be done on the other playlist, because it is really difficult to build and play the game. Really, you either get distracted by the animals and everything that's going on in your zoo, and your building suffers, or vice versa. So I'm quite looking forward to being able to go, well, look, this is a Let's Play, so we're going to tone down the building slightly for it, not too much. But a lot of it may be done off camera, and then I'll just sort of show you the halfway through and the final results and things like that. The Let's Play isn't about the building, it's about the actual gameplay of the game. Which again may need a little work. Currently my franchise zoo, where it's an up and down thing. We went from having loads of money, and then they introduced refunds. So we lost hundreds of thousands of pounds, and then they took refunds back out because they haven't balanced it properly and people were moaning, and then we made a load more money, and then now I think I'm about £120,000 in debt, and I have absolutely no idea why. Nothing has changed. The zoo is exactly the same. We've got more enclosures. We've got the gorillas moved over now. I haven't put any more animals in. In fact, we've got less animals because our 2 tigers have just passed away from old age. But yeah, apparently we're losing loads of money. But we did get, in this update, we did get a load of new heat maps which show us where the litter is. And one of my favourite heat maps shows you where the damaged items are, when people the vandalized items. I can't tell you how much of a ball ache it is to go round and check all your items just in case there's a vandalized item, because there was no way of knowing what was and what wasn't. Well, now we have that option. We have a heat map which will show us all the vandalized items, and I think that's a really nice touch. And that'll save me so much time, because you have no idea how many times I've gone around the park checking all the benches and all the things and all the bins, and oh, I actually can't believe they didn't think about this in the first place. Vandalism is out of control in this game. It doesn't seem to matter how many security cameras or security guards you have, they still break things. Which I'm thinking, if you've got enough security, the vandalism should reduce, but it's all about balancing. Let's be fair. This is an amazing game. They're working on it. They're smoothing it. They're making it just about right. So we just need to give them that little bit of time to make the game what it's going to end up as a brilliant game. Here you can see we're using lots and lots of presents, and I'm hoping you think it looks like a sleigh. A very traditional sleigh, not your big over-the-top Santa Claus sleigh, but I like it. So we got a Santa Claus sleigh. I do cut off in a second because I recolour all the presents, just because I thought it was the ideal place to get some colour in, and they're very beige. Beige and beige. So I was like, right, I'll colour a couple of them. So I coloured a couple of them, and then it looked a bit weird, so I ended up colouring pretty much all of them. Which you'll be glad to know I did off screen. There we go. So you don't need to sit there and watch me colour them all. I do think it adds a bit more colour to it, really nice. We've put a few more lights on the sleigh. We're just doing a bit of decoration on the side now. I can't remember what map I'm on. I think I'm on the Tundra map. But I was expecting it to be snowy all the time, but it's not. It's only snowy. It snows a lot, but as you can see, it's not snowy right now. I do put some snow down, and it does stay on the ground, so I'm presuming the environment's cold enough to support the snow. Which probably wouldn't be great if you had... Well, I suppose it would be easier to be in a cold environment and have animals who like the warmth, because you could just put heaters in. I get heaters in like enclosures and things to keep it warm. I've never really seen a cooler that you just place in wherever and it just makes it cold enough to produce ice and snow and things. I may be wrong. I do think they do use a system like this, but not as simple. Not be funny in Planet Zoo, we just go, put a cooler here, we'll have some snow there, put a cooler there. I have to admit, I hate putting them in the ground. I try and find a nearby rock or something to put them in, so it looks like they've been placed specifically and not just, dig a hole and put it in. So I do tend to get them into the walls and into rocks, and I don't hide them. I do want them to show because they are an item. It's a bit like when you have lights and that dotted around to light up different aspects. Yes, I'll put them into a bush, but they'll still be on show. I'm not going to bury them into the ground or anything, because in real life they would be on show. You would see these lights. Yes, they would hide them in bushes. Here I'm working on something I completely changed because I really don't like the design of it. Although those new ice pieces are really nice. I can see some good builds in the future with those. So we're just building a little pole with a light on it. And then we're going to build several more poles with lights on it. And hopefully you can see what we're going for here. We are going to have a runway where Santa can take off on his sleigh. And of course, the reindeer are good, but they need a little bit of help. So at the end of the runway, we just do a cheeky little ramp for them. Here we go. I'm just putting some snow in. We're just breaking up the snow a little bit so it looks like that's quite a well-trodden path and things like that. And we're just working on the ramp here. Ramp's quite straightforward. The pieces work really nicely. We've got these nice rounded pieces, so when we use the flat planks, we can actually just follow the rounded piece round and get this nice curve. It's not a perfect curve, but it is a curve nonetheless. And I promise once we've done this ramp, we go back to the original build. I did warn you that I get a bit distracted. I think we start... I think I put a bit of the fencing in for the reindeers, just to give you an idea of what the fence is going to look like. I will do the rest of the fence off camera, just because it's a very repetitive thing, and you don't need to see me putting the same fence down over and over and over and over again. So I do, in this episode, we do show you what the fence looks like. I've designed it and it's all ready to go. Before the next episode, the fence will be completed, and then we'll go back to working on the workshop. Now, we get another... This is where I built the big chunk on the side. As I was doing the runway, in my head, I decided that we needed a big chunk on the side of this building, so that's what we're going for here. Again, I had a bit of trouble finding the windows I wanted to use, so we went for quite a small window. Santa's helpers are elves, are they? So they're quite small anyway, so small windows make sense. This doorway I'm using at the minute is beautifully done, but I really didn't want the pattern on it, so we just flipped it round and dropped it back in, and this piece I've used a lot, and we're going back to the log. The log is really good, and this is where I come up with the idea of putting the red balls in the log, which we haven't done on the main building yet, but it does copy across, trust me. I think we only use red on the main building, where we use red and green in this building here. Some of the carved pieces in this DLC are so beautiful, but they just felt a bit too big for what I was going with. There's a beautiful Christmas tree in the DLC, so that'll be coming into the area soon. I got an idea of what I want to do for the polar bears. I'm not really sure how I'm going to fit the goats in and what sort of build we're going to do for those. Now, the polar bear, in my head, and I'm going to try my best to do this, we're going to do the Christmas Express train. So the carriages of the train will be the shelters for the polar bear. That's the plan. In my head, I've got a plan, and that's what we're going with. Whether it turns out like that, I don't know. I'm going to try my best to make it look as good as possible. I just think that'll be really nice. So we'll have Santa's workshop, a little village around it with little elf houses and things like that, and then we'll have the Christmas Express with the polar bears living in and out of the carriage and things like that. I suppose we could incorporate the goats into the village. That would be a good idea. And then all we have to find is an idea for the Arctic wolf. If you have any good Christmas ideas for an enclosure for them, please let me know in the comments below. I do get the occasional comment, and I do appreciate them, and I do try and respond to every comment I get. So if you do have an idea for a Christmas enclosure for an Arctic wolf, please get in contact. I'm a bit lost on the one for the Arctic wolf, I'm not going to lie. But we will find something by the time we get to that point. First we need to finish this build, and then we'll move on to the polar bear build, probably. Yeah, or shall I keep the polar bear? The polar bear's the big one, isn't it? It's like, if you look at the lineup, you've got the goats, which are meh. And then you go to the reindeer, which are... Well, I don't even think the reindeer, I think the Arctic wolf would be next, because we've got wolves in the game already. So they're the same but white, let's be fair. And then you go to the reindeer, which are beautiful from what I've seen. I haven't actually looked at them in game because I got a bit distracted with Miss Santa's workshop. And then you've got the polar bear. So we're doing the reindeer first, so we should probably do the goats next and get a bit of the village in, and then move on to the polar bears. And then hopefully, by the time we've done those, we will have an idea for the Arctic wolf. Now, as you can see, I'm just building the fence for the enclosure of the reindeer. I'm hoping they don't jump very high. I'm relying on the fact they don't jump very high. They probably will, and I'll probably have to alter it slightly, which would have been easier in the first place if I had just checked the Zoopedia. But I didn't. Because I'm an idiot, in all fairness. Like, these are all individual buildings, so if I did need to make it higher, placing them at this point would have been great. But no, Now, I like to make things difficult for myself, so I'll put them in and then they'll jump over and then I'll have to sort the problem out. So I don't do much of this fence, as I said. I do alter it as we go around. We put a bigger pillar in between and we put some lights on it. Of course, you've got to have lights. It's Christmas. Lights everywhere. As I say, I haven't seen them lit up at night yet. Another thing that happens in my franchise is it goes to night time and none of the lights come on. So that's another bug that I'm having. I have to admit, I haven't had too many bugs in this game. Like, I've seen people with flying staff and all sorts, but I haven't had any of that. The game's actually run really nicely for me until now, when it won't let me buy any more animals. And I might possibly have to delete my franchise, which will be really annoying, because there's a few hours work in that. With this window here, I put it in and I went, oh, wait a minute, we'll bring it out a little bit. So that's what we do. We bring out a piece of the wall and make a little out, sort of like a alcove. No, a chimney breast style design thing. And the windows, I want it to be quite a big window. Just so you've got a mixture of sizes. But these windows have that window ledge across along the bottom. So I do copy them up and then I change my mind because it looks a bit weird with these window ledges running all the way up. So then I flipped the top one over and then flipped them on the side, and it works really nicely. It's like a tall window and it's framed on either side. This is the only window I'm not too sure about at the moment. It's just the top of it I'm not really 100% happy with. We do the building itself's nice. It's just I think I topped the window with a decorative piece. I may be wrong. I might possibly be wrong actually, because at the moment I haven't done it and I'm filling in. I'm sure I top it with a decorative piece and I'm not too keen on it. But we do put a big light up star on it and that seems to make all the difference. As I say, lights are important. Now we're coming towards the end of the episode. Yes, this is a piece I would really like to have. I suppose it matches the. Do you know what? It doesn't look too bad. I suppose it matches the windowsill that I put in, so that's good. We do put a reindeer above the front door as well. There's some really nice models of reindeer, and the nice thing is they've given us the individual pieces for those. So if we wanted to make a reindeer with 20 legs, we could. Or we could use those pieces to make other things. That would probably make more sense. I'm going to put a little balcony area around here. We are coming up to the end of the episode. If you've enjoyed anything on this episode, please hit that like button. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe. It does help the channel. And I'm going to leave you with the rest of the video. There's only 5 minutes or so left to go. And I'll see you in the next episode. And until then, see you again.